The senior members of the faculty, all protocol observed. Good morning. Good morning once again. It's a great honor and pleasure for me to be here and to stand before you to speak about the transition of CBE. And I am honored that I'm amongst the faculty. I have served, as you heard, in the university sector for over 18 years in the School of Education, Department of Educational Curriculum and Technology. And your VC, I wish he was present here, taught me philosophy of education. There is a book that we kept as our Bible by Njoroge and Benayas on philosophy of education. If you are a teacher and you've not read that book, then we have questions about you, because that was the Bible at that time. So I'm honored to be here today, and I want to apologize that I came late. We got stuck at UNEP. There's a conference there going on with over 4,000 delegates across Africa, and we got stuck for a long time. In fact, my CEO who sent me here got stuck at the roundabout. He had to step out and walk to the commission for over 2 kilometers, and he got there before his driver. So that's how things are at the moment. Without much ado, I want to go straight to the subject that it was given to present, and that is transitioning to CBE and perspectives of a regulator. Allow me to say that we normally don't want to be seen as a regulator, because we have transitioned from a regulator to a partner. And we are all saying that we are partners in the enterprise of education, and especially in the reforms that we are currently implementing. We are all partners, and we are all learning together. So the tag regulator is a tag that we would like to move away from, because it connotes a police person. It connotes that you are giving directives and not learning from each other and moving together. But for purposes of today, I will just make that presentation on that. Let me give a little bit background of the subject that we are doing. You may not delve deep into the waters before appreciating where we have come from. We have come from far in terms of reforms in this country. We are now 60 years old plus, and our country has had a lot of changes, a lot of transitions, beginning way back in 1964 with Ominde, and with the latest one that was done by Odhiambo. And all those are great milestones. In fact, it has been observed that in the region, and Africa in particular, our country has had very many commissions, task forces formed to review our education. Many in the region have not done much. And I think you may, depending on which lens you look at it, it is good or bad. But I think the positives are more, because it shows that we are dynamic. We want to align ourselves with the trends and emerging issues, contemporary emerging issues in the world, society, and the sector, which is good. And I think this has been shown by how our graduates perform in the region and outside, because of the need by the stakeholders, educators, and anybody who is in the sector of education is trying to interrogate, trying to find out what it is that we need to do and to align with the best practices in the world. That is helping us. We may not be doing it right, but we are making an effort to do it right. And that is why even the topic we're talking about here is in that context and that effort, that in the year 2017, the rollout of the CBC was made. And one might think that the rollout was just an event that was done overnight or abruptly. It went back to the changes that have taken place. There was the new constitution that we had just that was promulgated in 2010 by President Kibaki. And there were also changes taking place in the international arena, in education. And that prompted also KICD, and I'm happy that we have KICD present here, Dr. You have a whole team here, but they're here. They did a baseline survey that unearthed certain things we've been doing over the years that require to be changed. And one of those issues was the fact that our system of education had veered towards becoming examination-oriented. It was too much of exams. We are focusing more on the summative evaluation. And it was becoming dangerous because learners were no longer going to school to learn, but to earn a grade. So much so that at one time the late Professor Magoha said that those were stupid A's, because you would have an A, but there was no A in you, in the class, in what you were doing. So they were meaningless. But you were there, the mean. Each school struggles to get a mean. A school struggles to complete the syllabus and drill the learners to have an A, including cheating. So we were really becoming a society that was fraudulent, that you doubt whether the person who has a certificate merits that certificate. So there was need for change, because the value of education and what education is supposed to do with one had been lost. And so that's the background, the changes in education, what KICD did to do a baseline survey, and also the international changes at UNESCO, IBE, made that we had to change. Now, I think I've talked about that. We now got to part of why we need to have these changes. I'm sure colleagues from KICD will have shared with you some of the 21st century skills that we require. I will not belabor, but I've only picked 4 core competencies that are essential for a student or a learner of the 21st century to possess. And that is just summarized by the 4 C's. We call them the 4 C's rubric performance areas in critical thinking, collaboration, communication, and creativity. There are actually 7 core competencies, but I think we've picked these 4 that run across any learner who will be able to operate and be productive in this century. And as we do the reforms, and with the reforms that began in 2017, and now coming to us, the focus in the curricula, in the reforms that are being done, is focusing on how we can make our learners to be critical thinkers and problem solvers, to be able to interpret, analyze, reason, think systemically, to be collaborators, to cooperate, to be able to effectively engage, and to generate ideas. So in terms of developing curricula, developing materials, that is how we are anchoring our education. And the rollout of CBC now, which is now in grade 7, 2024, and next year they will be completing the junior school and transit to senior school. In 2029, they will be knocking on our doors at the university. And this forum is in preparation for that transition. And as I'll be making my presentation, I'll be asking questions on how, what we need to do to prepare for that, and what is our role as a partner in quality assurance. Because our mandate at the Commission is basically to assure quality. It's quality assurance. Not so much of regulating, but to assure quality assurance and to put in place mechanisms and put in place things that will make the education at the university to be of quality and to assure the public, the international partners, that the kind of education we offer in our universities is of quality and measures the threshold of quality. I would like to take a few minutes to talk about a survey we undertook last year on the preparedness of universities to implement CBC, or we call it CBE. CBC and competency-based curriculum is an aspect of competency-based education. So CBE is broader, and the curriculum is inside it. That's why at the university we would like to adopt the CBE, because it is a broader terminology than the CBC, which is only about the curriculum, about the structure of how you organize the content. But education is broader. It encompasses the curriculum, the content, the resources, the manpower, and all those that are in that chain of education. We did a survey across all universities, and I was privileged to be here to undertake the data collection, which entailed we sent out a questionnaire, which was an online questionnaire, and we had a key informant interview with the DVC, and I'm glad that the DVC is here. I had a chance to engage with her. We also did a focus group discussion. I can see the dean also, who is there. We had a good engagement, and some faculty members. So part of what I want to share with you briefly, and we shall be posting this report in our website. We are waiting the board to approve, because it has gone through the process of interrogation and process of approval. Once the board approves that this can be shared with the stakeholders, we shall upload this on our web and you can access the findings. But I'm giving you part of the findings we got from that survey.